The other day there was a very entertaining programme where Diane Abbott and Tim Montgomery were both interviewed at the same time, and Diane Abbott's reflections on Keir Starmer as Labour leader are steeped in scepticism about his political instincts and his connection to the party. She says that Starmer lacks the feel for politics, attributing this to his relatively short tenure in the Labour Party before ascending to leadership. But she could have said the same about David Cameron. David Cameron was much better. She draws a stark comparison to Tony Blair, noting that while she seldom praises Blair, he at least possessed a level of empathy that Starmer appears to lack. I don't think this is about the period of time that Starmer has done as an apprentice in the Labour Party. I think it's about Starmer's character. Abbott states people will say he smashed all those left-wingers, but that's the skill set of a people hanging around him. Running the country, not so much. Her pointed remarks underscore a concern that Starmer's leadership is overly factional, focused on sidelining the left rather than effectively governing. She also criticises Starmer's handling of major policy promises, such as those to the WASPy women. She accuses him of breaking a promise to a group that has fought long for a long and passionate campaign reflecting broader concerns about the Labour leadership's disconnect from grassroots movements. In the same interview, Tim Montgomery, formerly a key figure in Conservative politics and now more aligned with Reform UK, offers a grim assessment of both major parties. On Starmer, he concedes that Labour may accomplish more good on issues like housing because of the absence of NIMBY pressures. However, he's equally critical of Starmer's lack of charisma and strategic vision, lamenting that he missed an opportunity to present himself as a straightforward, no-nonsense leader in contrast to Boris Johnson's chaotic tenure. Montgomery's most striking commentary, however, is about the Conservative Party's existential crisis under Kemi Badenoch. He suggests that the party is seriously in danger of not existing anymore, citing the disintegration of its socio-political system, its ecosystem, associations, grassroots, networks, even cultural touchstones, all gone. He says, you go to a Conservative Association meeting now, and most of the time we talk about how to win elections. When I started in politics, we talked about what was going on in the country, and that's a significant difference, isn't it? Nobody in the Conservative Party is remotely concerned about what's going on in the country, and that's been going on for years, and that's why there was the disconnect in Parliament between this desperation to elect another leader, because that's all the Conservative Party seems capable of doing at the moment, having an election. But you don't win by having an election. You win by governing. You win by convincing people that you have the ability to change the country for the better. And the shift from principle-driven politics to tactical manoeuvring and trying to get through to the finish line, Montgomery argues, has eroded the party's foundational support, has eroded the sense of worth. This is a worthless party at the moment. Be in no doubt at all, it is a worthless party, and Tim Montgomery has put his finger on the problem. And Abbott's criticism of Starmer reflects the ongoing tension within Labour, particularly between its centrist leadership and its left-wing base, and her comments about empathy resonate in a political landscape increasingly shaped by personality-driven leadership, yet her dismissal of Starmer's electoral success might underestimate the strategic importance of his consolidation of the party. But as Tim Montgomery suggests, elections are not the be-all and end-all of politics. Montgomery's view is more apocalyptic than Diane Abbott's, and rightly so, casting the Conservatives as a hollowed-out institution on the brink of collapse. His shift to Reform UK underscores his disillusion, though it's worth noting that such declarations about the imminent demise of political parties have been made before and rarely come to pass. Together, their views, Abbott on the left, Montgomery on the right, paint a bleak picture of British politics. A Labour leader perceived to be out of touch, a Conservative Party teetering on the edge of irrelevance and led by a twit. Abbott's focus on empathy and Montgomery's lament for lost principles highlight the different facets of a political system in chaos, grappling with leadership crises on both sides of the aisle.